You've made it. It's Friday. It's the day after Thursday. The coffee's piping hot. It's black as coal, along with this fever blister thing. It's healed up. It's just got a scab. Hurts so much. Anyways, I'm going to take a little different approach this morning. I'm going to discuss a movie we watched last night, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Mr. Rogers, played by Tom Hanks. Wow, so good. So very good. One of the interesting factoids about this movie is that they use the same cameras from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood to film every snippet, episode, part, integral solution, if you will, from the original Mr. Rogers show. Yeah, it was good. I remember being a little boy watching Mr. Rogers on PBS, Alabama Public Television or something. I can't remember anyways, but somebody said character development. I don't really think you need to discuss character development when you have Tom Hanks playing a character. He's just phenomenal. You literally, there we go, you get lost in Mr. Rogers, played by Tom Hanks. You don't really know where Tom Hanks stops or ends and Mr. Rogers begins, to be honest with you. It's really amazing. It's beautiful. Um, I'm slightly an emotional individual. Can't help it. Always have been, always will be. Get it from my mother. Uh, Within the first like 5 minutes, my eyes are welling up because of not necessarily just Mr. Rogers in general and stuff, but just like, the past, talking, thinking about like being a kid and all that stuff. And just seeing that, on the big screen, seeing the whole, like you're back in the show, and I mean, you expect to see Fred Rogers, and you realize it's not. It's Tom Hanks, but it's a sweet, sweet movie. Um, you really think that you're watching a movie, primarily about Mr. Rogers, and it's not necessarily only about Mr. Rogers. It's about I can't remember his name, but the main character, he works for Esquire magazine, and he's a writer, and he's put on assignment to cover Mr. Rogers and to basically just write a story about Mr. Rogers. And what's funny is this individual, he really doesn't know anything about Mr. Rogers. He's just not ever been in tune to what he's about, what's his methodology, and he's sent to cover the story. And this is a story unlike he ever really covers when it comes to things from the Esquire magazine that he writes. So he's kind of at the start, kind of like really don't want to do this story. This is not my kind of thing, and he's kind of dead inside, and just not a very inept individual to want to be happy. And most of the columns that he writes are just negative, and they're draining, and they just don't. He's the kind of journalist that chews up who he interviews and spits them out and calls them for who they really are. Which basically is, I guess, journalists are meant to get to the bottom of the story and what somebody really is. But this review contains no spoilers whatsoever. I'm just kind of letting you know what's going on. He gets an opportunity, to interview Tom Hanks, Mr. Rogers, and the interaction back and forth between somebody who is just disconnected from reality, his emotions, his soul, and seeing Mr. Rogers play with Tom Hanks, that's just so warm and nurturing and open. It's interesting to see that character development of the individual meeting Mr. Rogers is pretty cool. Trying to think if there's anything else that would kind of give you some advice on when to see it. I believe it's like an hour and a half. It's not too long. Noble pretty much sat through it. Not really. He got up a couple times, but that's just a child, 4-year-old. Um, yeah, there's a lot of parts in this movie that where if you're an emotional person and you truly get into it, you're gonna weep a little bit, you're gonna cry a little bit, you're gonna get emotional. That's okay. It's okay to cry. Maybe if we all did a little bit more of it, we'd be a little bit more human. But I totally give Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood 2 thumbs up, and you should totally go see it. It's good. It's refreshing. Uh, Not a lot of CGI, none of that crap. It's just bare bones, real cinema. Yeah, it's awesome. Go check it out. It's Friday. Uh, we have 2 weddings this weekend, and these will be the last weddings of the year for us. We potentially have one more in December, but we don't know if that's going to happen or not. The couple's from Texas and they're coming here, and we just don't know. So it could be 3 more. Probably after tomorrow it'll be the last 2. Anyways, hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. Oh yeah, we gave away the free Santa session to Elsa. Yeah, Elsa. Just yeah. Have a good day. God bless you. Santa Claus. Goodness. Santa Claus sessions next Saturday. I'm going to keep telling you guys about them and stuff and doing everything. There's going to be lots of things that you really need to check out, the Santa Claus sessions. It's going to be so much fun. But we'll talk. God bless you. See you later.